Hello, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And just to celebrate, I'm not wearing green. Okay. Yeah, 5 games. Forgive me for having to contend with the washing machine noise, but life goes on. All right. First, you'll notice Motor City is now in black. Yep, they clinch a playoff spot, 6-4 victory over the Port Huron Prowlers. Motor City got into this early and dominated the first period, and Port Huron came back, but uh, not enough time. Motor City gets goals by TJ Sneath, Declan Conway, and Scotty Koash in the first period, in which they outshot Port Huron 21-5. For some reason, Ross Bartlett was not out on the ice during the first period for Port Huron. Not sure why, but anyway, he would end up playing a part in the game later on. Second period, Port Huron gets their stuff together and get goals from Mitch Jones, Brian Parsons, and Connor Foley to tie things up. And that's halfway through the second period. Motor City regroups. They get the goal by Mike Wynn. Nice to see him on the board. You don't see his name mentioned too often in recaps. Ross Bartlett, as I said, I mentioned him earlier. He gets the opening goal for the third period, so that ties things up at 4 each. But then Motor City takes control of the game. It's Tristan Wells scoring what would be the game winner at 6:24. And then Lane King gets an empty net goal with 10 seconds left. It's a 6-4 win. TJ Sneath, a goal and 2 assists. Tristan Wells, a goal and assist. And Ricardo Gonzalez, he stops 22 of 26 for the win. Tynan, 47 saves, or 47 shots, rather. There was 48 shots by Motor City, but the one was an empty netter. So, and that's unusual. Motor City usually doesn't get that many shots on goal. But they did last night, and 42 saves by Tynan in 59-19. So Port Huron is now 22-18 and 6. Their magic number to clinch a playoff spot remains now at 2, and Motor City has clinched. They are now 28-16 and 4. All right, the other game with playoff implication in the Empire Division last night, Danbury sweeps the home and home with Elmira, 3-2. Final score should have been 4-3, Danbury, but a goal was disallowed by for both teams for absolutely no reason. Referees, I don't know what they're looking at, but they're clear goals, clear good goals, and a goal was taken away from each side. So whatever. But Danbury wins nonetheless. Stephen Klink was the first one on the board for Elmira at 7:39 of the first, scoring on a 5-on-3 power play. So he scores on Taylor Joseph, who was getting his first start as a hat trick. Frankie McClendon, he started for Elmira, and things are going along well until we get to the second period. First, William Berry, he scores his first pro goal. Congratulations, William Berry. He scores at 8:26, and then Johnny Ruiz scores first on the power play at 14:33, and then shorthanded at 18:59, and that was the end of McClendon's night. Sammy Bernard comes in. He ended up saving 11 of 11 for the remainder of the time that he was in. David Gaeta did draw Elmira to within 1 at 18:39 of the third. Bernard was pulled, so that was with the extra attacker. But Danbury holds on for a 3-2 win, or 4-3, however you want to look at it. Danbury improving to 26-17 and 5. Their magic number to clinch playoff berth is now 7, and they're going to try to take a step towards lowering that a little bit more tonight as they take on Watertown. Elmira now 18-29 and 0. They had a prime opportunity to get some separation between them and Watertown, 4-point gap, and it remains 4 points. And Watertown has a chance to get 3 of those back tonight, so it's going to be a very interesting game. Klink with a goal and assist. Yarwood with 2 assists on the night, and McClendon 29 saves out of 32 opportunities in his 38 minutes and 59 seconds played. Taylor Joseph saves 33 of 35 for the win. Um, so there we go. Good crowd of 2,000 plus on hand at First Arena. All right, Carolina, what a day they had. First of all, driving up to Wytheville, bus breaks down. Yeah, bus breaks down again. And no, I'm not making a joke about that. Blue Ridge, thankfully it was only 20 minutes away from the arena, so Blue Ridge brought their bus down, got Carolina up there in time for the game. Game didn't have to be delayed or anything like that. So Carolina's already a little bit keyed up. They take to the ice, and the sun is glaring into the windows. Uh, it was crazy. I saw pictures and this huge beam of sunlight coming right in at Cody Karpinski's face. But Carolina gets on the board first. 2 goals by Gus Ford, who, by the way, now leads the league in goals scored. Yep, he has a total of 36 now. Ford scores at 8:39, takes a penalty, sits down for 2, comes back out, scores on a power play. Oh, yeah. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals and all the goals were marked as even strength goals by the off-ice officials at Wytheville. They weren't. There was power play goals. There was a shorthanded goal. Off-ice officials had a bad weekend in Wytheville. I'm not sure what happened. But anyway, Ford scores in the power play at 16:20. Thank you, Randy Pulliam, for alerting me to all the errors, which, yes, got finalized in the game report again. All right, first period ends with Blue Ridge chipping their way back in. 18:36, Vladislav scores on the power play. So it's 2-1 at the end of one. Carson Andreoli ties things up at 8:24 of the second. Third period, it's Daniel Martin putting the Bobcats in the lead on the power play. It's 3-2 at this point. John Butita counters 3 minutes later to make it a 3-3 game for Carolina. And then Josh Newberg at 5:09, he scores shorthanded. Yep. Again, listed as even strength, even though it wasn't. So now Blue Ridge is ahead 4-3. Kind of interesting side note. In between the second and third periods, Brett Wiseman was talking to Barry Soskin, who, of course, owns both Carolina and Blue Ridge. And they were talking about the Blue Ridge Bobcats. And Soskin said, hopefully, these guys can kind of finish off. It seems like we run out of gas a lot. Guess what happened? And it's unfortunate, but good on Carolina. Carolina turned turned lemons into lemonade. They score at 11:03. It's Yuri Pastuka tying things up, and then a most unfortunate penalty taken by the Bobcats right near the end of the game, and Gus Ford scores on that power play with just 37 seconds remaining in regulation time. It's a 5-4 regulation win for the Carolina Thunderbirds. Their magic number now to clinch home ice advantage for the first round of the playoff is 5 points. They will guarantee themselves of second place with 5 points. Blue Ridge, they fall to 13, 28, and 6, and unfortunately just running out of time. 16-12 on hand, a good crowd. Of course, a mixture of Carolina and Blue Ridge fans. So Ford with the hat trick, Dawson Baker with 3 assists, and Cody Karpinski, despite this glaring sun in his eyes, stops 29-33. Daniel Martin had a goal and assist. Zach Tattern with 2 assists. That's good to see. And Connor Green stops 31-36. Just not quite enough. So there you go. All right, next game. Baton Rouge, traveling to Columbus, takes on the River Dragons, and they played a good game. They fell behind 4-0, but they started coming back, and they made a game of it. So Baton Rouge falls 4-2. But again, played pretty well. First period, no scoring. Baton Rouge with a slight shot advantage, 13-12. And then the second, it's Justin McDonald scoring at 3:42. It's Ryan Hunter scoring at 12:36. It's 2-0. We go into the third. Columbus keeps pouring on the goals. It's J Mac again. And Sequoia Swan also scores. He had himself a good game, a goal and an assist. And so it's 4-0 at that point. But Baton Rouge doubles down and starts chipping away at things. MJ Graham scores on the power play at 11:32. And at 13:54, Curtis Hanson scored, so that made it 4-2. They made it interesting, just not quite enough to get all the way back. So Columbus is able to hold on, but this did not turn out into a blowout like another game. All right, so Hanson and MJ Graham both with a goal and assist, and Stevens saves 26 of 30. Baton Rouge outshot Columbus for the game 36-30. Surprise, surprise. J Mac with the 2 goals, Sequoia Swan, goal and assist, and Brendan Colgan saves 34 out of the 36 shots. He is the second goaltender in the Fed to reach 20 wins. Of course, the other one is Connor McCollum for the Columbus, oh my word, for the Danbury Hat Tricks. He has 21 wins. So there we go. A good crowd of 46-30 on hand. Then we go to Binghamton, and Friday night it was a 9-1 dominating win by the Black Bears, and I don't know if Mississippi just decided they didn't want to play or what, but a sellout crowd watches a 10-0 whitewashing of the Mississippi Seawolves. I don't have anything really good to say about the Seawolves except for Joe Shepard. For his efforts, he played well, but he was hung out to dry all night. Got no help. Just like Blake Wyrick didn't get any help Friday night. This was not on Shep. Mississippi, they really didn't even put up any kind of resistance until the last 6 minutes of the game. And by then it was already 10-0. So, yeah, first period, Jesse Anderson scores at 2:37, and there's your game winner right there. Binghamton with a 15-6 shot advantage in that first period. Goes by Jesse Anderson, Cameron Clark, and Tyson Kirkby. 3-0 after one. The second period, the only goal of the period came by Austin Thompson on a power play that was a 5-minute major. Justin Portillo ends up getting a game misconduct in the 5-minute major for a boarding call. He hit Dan Weaver, gashed Weaver's nose up, but I've seen worse. Was it worth a game misconduct? I don't know. I agreed with the 5-minute major part, but anyway. Regardless, we went on, and the third period, Dan Weaver comes out of the locker room after missing most of the second and scores the next goal. Kyle Steffen, he ends up getting his first pro goal, so that was good to see. We had a shorthanded goal by Colin Fitzgerald, who has been up in the SP all year. Don Olivieri scored halfway through. Austin Thompson scores again on the power play. And JT Walters scores 16 seconds after that. And then in between, there was also another goal by Austin Thompson. It didn't cross the line fully. The horn sounded, the light went on. The referees reviewed it. They said no goal, and that was the right call. But anyway, yeah. And then Mississippi didn't end up offering any resistance until about 6 minutes left. The Kodaban hits Philip Wong with a totally clean chip, but it just blew Wong up. And so Bond was given a 2-minute roughing call, which was kind of ridiculous. And then Mississippi turned it on, and they get 10 shots on goal in 6 minutes. But by then it was too little too late. So anyway, Mississippi is now 20-23-3. Their magic number to clinch a playoff spot remains at 12. Binghamton, meanwhile, improves to 31-6-7. Their magic number to clinch the Empire Division title is 8 points. So there you go. There's last night. 4 games tonight. Port Huron at Motor City, Elmira at Binghamton, Baton Rouge at Columbus, and Danbury at Watertown. That last game is the big important game as far as any implications with standings. So there you go. All right, and Port Huron can clinch if they get at least an overtime win tonight. So we'll see. All right, there's our games. We will do a review of the first three games and post it tomorrow morning. And then the Watertown Danbury game is going to be reviewed on Spotify. All right, so there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Have a great weekend.